Airplanes are one of the most advanced ways to travel. But let's be honest, most people still don't know half the secrets. The ones that make flying easier, cleaner, and more comfortable. So whether it's your first flight or your 100th, here are 15 simple air travel tips you'll wish someone told you sooner. Ever had a landing that felt more like a controlled crash? Don't blame the pilot just yet. In bad weather, especially on wet or snowy runways, pilots sometimes intentionally land hard. It helps the wheels break through the water layer and grip the ground. Otherwise, the plane could hydroplane, just like a car. It's not poor flying, it's precision. So next time you slam into the runway, remember? It might have just saved your life. When the plane starts taxiing, your tray table should be up. Not because it's polite, but because it's safe. If there's an emergency, that tray can block your escape. And nobody wants to get trapped behind your laptop and pretzels. Same goes for reclining your seat during takeoff or landing. A reclined seat can jam the legs of the person behind you. Worse, it makes the brace position nearly impossible. Upright seats save time, space, and possibly lives. So next time the flight attendant reminds you, it's not nagging. It's Survival 101. You might want to think twice before ordering that hot cup of coffee, because honestly, it's not made with bottled water. It's made with water from the plane's onboard tank. And those tanks? They've been around longer than some passengers. Studies have found harmful bacteria in over 12% of samples. Not exactly barista quality, right? And if you do order a hot drink, don't pour it yourself. Flight attendants are trained to handle boiling liquids on a moving plane. You're not. So maybe stick to bottled water or juice. Your stomach will thank you later. Ever wonder why flight attendants ask you to raise your window shade during takeoff and landing? It's not about the view, it's about visibility. In an emergency, they need to see what's happening outside. Fast. Fire on one side, debris blocking an exit. They'll use that view to decide which doors to open. If your shade is down, they're flying blind. So next time you're tempted to block the sun, remember, that tiny window might help save lives. Ever notice it takes forever to get a Coke mid-flight? That's not laziness, it's physics. The low cabin pressure just messes with carbonation. So when Coke gets poured, it foams like crazy. Flight attendants have to do it in slow motion. Pour a little, wait. Pour a little more, wait. If you're in a rush, maybe skip the soda. It's not worth the wait, or the fizz flood. And if you're wondering what else is slower in the sky, you'll want to hear what's really lurking in your seat area next. So, you probably think the airplane bathroom is the grossest spot on board, right? Well, actually, that's not true. The filthiest thing on the plane is your tray table. Yeah, really. Studies show it's like 8 times dirtier than the toilet flush button. And why is that? Honestly, it's because they rarely get cleaned between flights. People do everything on them. Eat, sneeze, change diapers, you name it. So before you unfold that tray, do yourself a favor. Pull out a sanitizing wipe and give it a good scrub. And hey, same goes for your armrest, seatbelt, and touchscreen. Oh, and definitely keep that air vent open. The air is filtered and safe. The tray table, not so much. We get it. Early flights, long layovers, naps are tempting, but sleeping during takeoff or landing? Yeah, that's a bad idea. First, it messes with your ears. Cabin pressure changes really fast, and your ears need help adjusting. Yawning, swallowing, chewing gum, they all work. But you can't do any of that if you're snoring. Second, safety. Most in-flight accidents happen during these 2 phases. If something goes wrong and you're passed out cold, well, you're losing precious seconds. So do yourself a favor. Stay alert until you're cruising. Then you can knock out guilt-free. That window seat might seem like the perfect place to nap, but leaning your head against the glass? Big mistake. You have no idea who sat there before you, and that window hasn't been wiped down in, well, a long time. We're talking about a germ smorgasbord at 35,000 feet. So, if you must rest your head, bring a clean hoodie or a travel pillow. At least then you're not cuddling with someone else's forehead grease. Sleep smart, not sticky. Flying makes you want to get comfortable. But if your idea of comfort is going barefoot on a plane, Stop right there. Seriously, don't do it. Not only will your seatmate silently judge you, you're stepping into one of the dirtiest places you'll ever relax in. That carpet? It's seen everything from spilled coffee to barefooted passengers with contagious foot conditions. And don't even think about walking into the lavatory like that. That water on the floor? It's not always water. If your feet need a break, fair enough. Kick off your shoes. Just wear socks or bring lightweight slippers. Comfort's great. Athlete's foot is not. It might look tempting, like a giant inflatable escape hatch. But don't even think about pulling that emergency slide unless it's, well, an emergency. Deploying it for fun or frustration? Huge mistake. You'll delay the entire flight for hours and cost the airline thousands just to repack it. People have done it, thinking it'll get them off the plane faster. Spoiler, it gets them kicked off, and sometimes arrested. So unless the crew tells you to, keep your hands far away from that handle. Flip-flops and heels might look cute at the gate, but in an emergency, they're honestly the worst choice you can make. Backless sandals slip off super easily. High heels, they'll be left behind. And why? Because they can actually puncture the emergency slide. If you have to evacuate fast, heels stay, you go. Barefoot. And do you really want to sprint across hot tarmac or broken glass without shoes? Didn't think so. Wear sturdy closed-toe shoes with grip. They might not win a fashion award, but hey, they could save your skin. Just because you can shove your bag into the overhead bin doesn't mean you should. If it's heavy or awkward to lift, keep it under the seat, because during turbulence, overhead bins can pop open, and your suitcase can turn into a flying weapon. People have gotten seriously injured by falling bags. A bad bump mid-flight and boom, someone's vacation starts with an ice pack. If you can't lift it easily, ask for help. Or better yet, pack lighter. Your back and the passenger below will thank you. Some items just don't belong in your carry-on. Spray deodorants and shaving cream, for example. Cabin pressure can make them explode. Yes, explode. That's why they're banned on most flights. Stick deodorant? Totally fine. But leave anything pressurized at home or in checked bags. And speaking of danger, never pack power banks in your checked luggage. They contain lithium batteries, which can catch fire if damaged or defective. That's why airlines want them in your carry-on, where the crew can respond fast. High energy equals high risk. Treat them with care. Worried that airport scanners are messing with your health? You're not alone. Lots of people have that concern. But here's the truth. The radiation levels are incredibly low. If they were dangerous, TSA staff wouldn't stand next to them all day. Even the big baggage scanners barely register a blip in exposure. You'll get more radiation flying at 35,000 feet than walking through that scanner. So don't stress, just step through, smile, and keep moving. You've seen the movies. The pilot's unconscious, and a brave passenger steps up to save the day. Yeah. No, that's pure Hollywood fantasy. Landing a commercial jet isn't like playing Microsoft Flight Simulator. Even if you've watched every YouTube tutorial, the stress, complexity, and real-world stakes would overwhelm just about anyone. Sure, a few amateurs have landed tiny private planes in emergencies, but a full-size passenger jet? That's never happened. Not once. Let's leave that to the professionals. Airplanes are one of the most advanced ways to travel. But let's be honest, most people still don't know half the secrets, the ones that make flying easier, cleaner, and more comfortable. So whether it's your first flight or your 100th, here are 7 simple air travel tips you'll wish someone told you sooner. Let's start with something chilly. Literally. Window seats are great for the view, but did you know they're also noticeably colder? The air outside the plane can drop to minus 140 degrees Fahrenheit. That external cold transfers through the plane's walls. And the window seats? They get the worst of it, especially during summer when you're dressed light. If you love sitting by the window, layer up, or just ask the crew for a blanket. Simple fix. Major comfort upgrade. Next, let's talk about what you're drinking. Hot drinks like coffee or tea, you might want to skip them. Here's why. The water used to make them often isn't clean. It comes from tanks that are rarely sanitized properly. Studies found E. coli and staph bacteria in that water. Some flight attendants refuse to drink it themselves. So if they're avoiding it, maybe you should too. Instead, ask for bottled water or juice. Much safer, much smarter. Here's something you probably don't want to hear. The dirtiest spots on the entire plane? They're not the bathrooms. They're the tray tables and seatback pockets. Yeah, those pockets in front of you? They're full of trash from previous passengers. Used tissues, food wrappers, random junk, and tray tables? Flight attendants say people actually change diapers on them. Diapers. So do yourself a favor. Bring disinfectant wipes, keep your stuff in your bag, and never put food directly on the tray. If you get to pick your flight time, always go with a morning flight. Here's why. Delays stack up as the day goes on. The earlier you fly, the fewer problems from ripple effect delays. It's also smoother in the air. Morning flights usually hit less turbulence, so if you hate bumpy rides or running late, fly early. You'll thank yourself. Let's talk seats. Not just legroom or views, but service. If you sit toward the back of the plane, you might actually get better attention from the crew. Why? Because it's easier for them to offer extras discreetly. Snacks, drinks, even blankets. They can help you without everyone else seeing. Up front, everything has to look equal. In the back, it's VIP treatment, without anyone knowing. Sure, you'll deplane later, but you might get treated better while you're on board. Got a travel pillow? Awesome, but don't inflate it all the way. Cabin pressure changes mid-flight, and if your neck pillow's pumped to the max, it might actually burst, or just get really uncomfortable. Leave a little air inside, just enough to support your neck without turning it into a balloon. Comfy, safe, smart. Let's talk airplane food. Most people just accept the standard meal, chicken or pasta. But did you know you can choose a special meal in advance? Vegetarian, kosher, seafood, gluten-free, and here's the kicker. They're usually better, often fresher, served before the regular meals, and sometimes way more flavorful. You don't need a dietary restriction to request one. Just choose it when you check in online. Free upgrade, no strings attached, more choice, better food, easy win. Shorts might seem like the comfy choice, but the cabin seats? Not exactly clean. Hundreds of people sit on them every week, and most airlines don't deep clean in between flights. Your bare skin is touching whatever the last person left behind, not to mention sudden temperature drops mid-air. Trust me, jeans or joggers are your best bet. Stay clean, stay warm, stay sane. Flying internationally? Here's one thing people forget every single time. A pen. You'll need to fill out customs forms, entry cards, and declarations. And when the flight attendants hand them out, everyone starts asking around for a pen. Be the prepared one. Bring one. Use it. Save time. Avoid that awkward pen hunting shuffle at 3 a.m. Hate turbulence? Here's a trick that pilots swear by. Book your seat over the wing. That part of the plane is more stable during flight. You'll feel fewer bumps compared to the back or nose. It's the plane's center of gravity. So next time you're choosing a seat, aim for the wing. Less shaking, more relaxing. Before you even get to the airport, download your airline's app. Why? It gives you live updates on gate changes, delays, boarding zones, and baggage info. Some even let you rebook a canceled flight instantly. No waiting in line, no customer service drama. Plus, you'll usually get your boarding pass right on your phone. More control, less chaos. Here's a hydration hack most travelers still don't use. Bring an empty reusable bottle through security. Fill it up at a fountain or bottle station near your gate. Boom, free water. No need to pay $5 for a tiny plastic bottle, and you stay hydrated without depending on tiny drink cups. Don't trust airport outlets. They're either all taken or not working. And once your phone dies, so does your access to boarding passes, directions, or ride shares. Bring a power bank. Keep it charged. It's one of the smartest things you can toss in your carry-on. planning your trip? Search for flights in incognito or private browsing mode. Airline websites and travel platforms track your searches, and sometimes they increase prices if they think you're coming back. Incognito keeps your searches clean and price hikes away. Clear your cookies too, just to be safe. When picking your seat, don't just guess. Use a seat map site like Seat Guru. It'll show you which seats have extra legroom, which ones don't recline, which ones are right next to the bathroom. Yikes. A few seconds of research can make your whole flight way more comfortable. So there you have it. 7 travel hacks that can seriously level up your next flight. Got a friend who travels a lot? Share this with them. They'll thank you next time they fly. And if you're new here, hit subscribe. We've got more smart travel tips and secrets coming your way. Stay smart, stay comfortable, and stay flying on the bright side.